Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution, my Let's Play series of this early access game that is currently only available through GameLabs' website. Yesterday we took a look at Last Train Home. Today we are returning to Ultimate General, and then we'll probably return to Last Train Home tomorrow or so. But in today's video slash stream, we are going to continue our Let's Play as the Americans. It is August of 1775. We have successfully sort of held the line in the east while moving up the river in New York to take Fort Saratoga and Ticonderoga from the British. We've stopped at Ticonderoga and have not pushed into Canada quite yet. But at least for the moment, we're holding there with about a 2,000 man force, 2,700 man force between Ticonderoga and Saratoga. We also, fought a major battle in our last episode here at Middleborough, where we got pretty badly shot up by a British force there. You know, I think the problem is I'd like to move one of these units here, these 500 soldiers, from Saratoga to Providence, but it takes a long time to move troops that far. Like, a long time. I wonder if I moved them, because when I did it before in sort of I didn't air it, but I tried to see how quickly I can move troops east, and when they move over the mountains and through rough terrain, they move very slowly. But I wonder if it would be quicker if I just moved them down from Albany to Kingston to Fort Montgomery and then east to Haven, Hartford, and Providence. I'm thinking the enemy won't try, like they tried to end around Frederick for Saratoga previously, but that was when we had no garrison there. And I need more troops if I'm going to try and dislodge the British from Middleborough, really. Like, we do outnumber them by 1,300 men right now, but these troops they're a shambles. We've got a couple of full-strength militia units, but the regular units are in rough shape. The militia units are in rough shape. We need more officers to effectively replace our losses as well. We're running out of junior officers. We do have a recruitment research item that's going here to recruit new officers, but that's going to take 12 days. Continental Army will be done in 4, but finances are kind of a mess too. So let's just try this out. Let's see how far these guys can get in a day. It does weaken the Ticonderoga line from 2,700 men to 2,200, but I don't have a general that way either, so I wouldn't be able to effectively fight anyway. So yeah, again, let's give it a day or two till we get a new report from where these soldiers are and see how quickly they can move south and maybe get to the east. Enraged vigilantes demand the arrest of powerful loyalists. However, he offered a small but significant amount of money for us to allow him and his family to leave. It's in Rhode Island, where our loyalty currently is 100%, so yes, give me money. Wow, they got all the way from Saratoga past Albany in, I think that was even less than a day. So it seems like maybe moving down this sort of open terrain approach is smart. We don't really have good roads or anything like that, but it's mostly open ground between Fort Montgomery and New Haven. Personal loyalties to Britain. Our officers have strong family ties or personal loyalties to Britain, causing them to switch sides out of a sense of duty or allegiance to their homeland. Plus 13. Wouldn't that mean they'd be leaving service for us and going to the British? Not joining us? I'm not sure I understand that event, but it is good because I need the officers, so anything that gets me 13 officers is pretty much a win. Meanwhile, we'll have these guys enter Fort Montgomery and rest for a day. All right, got to get their stamina back up. That did seem to work. We were up by 1,300 men now. Now it's only 1,200. It seems like the British are replacing their losses more quickly than we can. I think the main issue is just not enough recruits. If we take a look at the actual units here that are looking at replacing their losses, there may be a few that need a new company raised. Let's see. Yeah, we need a new Fusilier company here in the 6th Connecticut. I don't have enough weapons of anything except for the civilian musket to raise a new company, so we'll do that. Spend a little bit of cash there doing that. All right, and then these other guys are okay. It also might not be a terrible idea to shuttle troops over to Leicester because there are some recruits there. Technically, the same is true of Hartford. If we're bringing troops from the west, then I think it might make sense to just pull our regulars to Hartford. They can follow their. Actually, does Newport have recruits? Yeah, some. Okay. All right. Yeah, the lack of... I don't love the way that the captured weapons work in this compared to Ultimate General Civil War, to be honest. I wish they were a little bit more like Ultimate General Civil War, because it's kind of like you fight the battle on the tactical map, and then there's a strategic map item that will pop up that lets you capture stuff after the battle on the strategic map. Kind of, I'm assuming it's to simulate, hey, you control the battlefield. Now you can actually, you know, gather supplies from the battlefield. So it's kind of like the logic of he who controls the field wins the battle afterwards. My general problem with that approach, all right, they made it. They're back up to... All right, let's move this way, I think. That should be the smallest amount of time through any forest. But my issue with that approach is that then the actual battlefield results don't seem to... The British are sending 1,300 men to the Northern Command, so Canada, I would guess. I don't know if this is 2,600 or 1,300. Like, is it the same event? Because it's the same number of troops twice. But we do have the ability to raise Continentals now. But my main issue is just because of that, the way the game handles that is it's kind of like there's a disconnect between the way that tactical battles unfold and the actual results on the strategic map. They don't seem super close, if you will. All right, so we got the Fusilier, or we got the Continental Army objective or item. So now we can raise Fusiliers or artillery companies. I would like... All right, so we could do Sons of Liberty, which would be, what, 27 research points, which is 27 days. We could do General Limit increases, gives us Benedict Arnold. That'll take 51 days. Alternatively, we should probably go with raise funds because we need more money. You can see we're in the red right now. Let's also go to the production screen. Sorry, not that. Let's go to the market screen. And I think we have one unit with Charleville 66s. I'd be happy to sell them eventually, but let's also buy more. Well, I don't have the money to do that yet. All right, let's sell the copper because we're producing copper, but we're not doing anything with it. So that gets me back in the black. We will sell 14 construction resources because I'm not building that much, and it still gives me a surplus of 50. And then we are building. Did we finish our stable yet? Not quite. So let's also sell, I think we have textiles. We've got 2 textiles. Let's sell those. And then three wood still leaves me a slight surplus. And 3 coal. Again, there's a lot of like going back and forth and figuring out what logistics you want to, how you want to manage this stuff. Because as the Americans, it's kind of very much like sell off what you don't, you know, what you can afford to. All right. 2,000 gold hopefully is enough for the moment. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and spend 100 and buy 4 more brown besses, because those fusiliers need brown besses. And yeah. It's the same game as we've been playing on the YouTube channel. Hey, Tin Flash, how you doing? Right, they need more money, but that should be solved. They need more money, but that should be solved. We're going to raise funds. That'll take 12 days. I could use a little bit of reputation to speed some of this up. I don't have an urgent need for officers right now because it looks like we've got a few in our stockpile, if you will. So let's just try and get this additional regiment from Saratoga out to Providence, and they can rejoin the troops there and strengthen our assault on Middleborough. The enemy is recruiting more quickly than we are, though. Or no, that's just because I dispersed my troops. Never mind. I was like, we don't have the 1,200 man advantage we did. But that's because I moved troops to other... I moved troops around. I don't really understand international relations yet in this game, by the way. It doesn't really seem to mean anything. Did I raise that new Fusilier company, or did I? No, I did. Okay. Not enough muskets, which means we are going to replace one of you with civilian muskets. That'll free up a few brown besses to go to the other regular companies while we equip you with civilians. Okay. And then we will assault Middleborough as soon as the 550 troops of this new militia regiment show up. Hey, someone donated $2,000 to me. Just what I frickin' needed. And no, that's not sarcasm. 100%. I need money. Badly. All right, they're almost to 2,000. What just came up here? Yeah, we already knew that. Lyman was lost. That's fine. I actually think I disbanded the garrison that was there. All right. Conditions good enough. You guys can leave and head to Hartford. Because you're going to be heading on a roadway, so this should be quick. They should get to Hartford fast. The enemy force was at 3,500 the last time we fought. There's no indication they've rebuilt their cavalry, which is my main concern, is that they would get another cavalry company. We destroyed all 3 cavalry companies, but they basically wrecked our army. So the fact that we don't see any indication that they have brought in that cavalry yet is a very good thing, because if it wasn't for that cavalry, I think we win that battle. All right. Civilian muskets, civilian muskets. So these are all civilian muskets, except for the one unit that is Charleville 77s. We are attempting to produce civilian muskets, but we don't have it. We can't keep up with demand. How many Charleville 77s do we need? Looks like we'd need 36 of them. All right, let's go to the market here. Buy 50 for most of our cash. Buy 250. I don't have money for all that. Let's buy 100. All right, that's pretty much all my money. So now I'm going to go back into resources and see what I can sell. We'll sell some more horses. Again, we're producing some. We're producing like 2 per production cycle, but we're not using any of them. So I will sell my surplus stockpile of horses to get that money back. Headquarters is 9 days from raising funds. I could use 9 prestige to get that immediately. We also need the officers. I'm going to spend 5 prestige to get the officers right away. Because if we're trying to recruit more troops, we're going to need more officers. So wait 1 more day. I agree, Arda. If you overrun batteries and you hold the field at the end of the battle, you should get those guns. It doesn't really work that way. You can capture guns on the strategic map after a battle with those results, but it's not equal to the actual results that you see on the battlefield. Not 1-to-1 anyway. Government efficiency is reduced. We get the 25 or 20 officers. I go ahead and start a new project for our chief engineer. Chief engineer, what do I want you to do? Give me copper, because I can turn around and sell that for more money. Also raise more money for my general, because we're in the red already. I'll use prestige to do that. I've got 3 copper I can sell to get us in the black right away. 4 wood, 2 saltpeter, 10 construction materials, 2 coal, and 2 horses that we produced. All right, so we got $1,000 again. We'll have a little bit more once the prestige expense is used. Not enough money, not enough muskets. Yep. All right. So we're trying to recruit replace these losses, but we don't. I need more muskets. Buying stuff on the market is so inefficient. And I don't have the cash to do it, really. All right. Head to profit. Nope. Go to Newport. Why don't they link to the roads? Sometimes they do use the roads. Sometimes they don't. Muskets, muskets, muskets. All right, now they're attached to the road. Okay. Second Continental Congress issues a proclamation known as the Declaration of Causes and Necessity of Taking Up Arms. And I get a little bit more cash now because I said, hey, I need money. All right. One company's fully equipped. One's almost fully equipped. I don't want to wait forever, though. So 6 Connecticut. Get moving. The Lester boys. Close enough. Okay, follow the road. Good for you. All right, everybody. Get ready for the assault on Middleborough. I'm guessing the enemy's probably like fully replaced their losses, but we get everybody into Providence to prepare for the assault. No, they haven't. They're still 1,300 men shy. And I don't see a Dragoon company yet. Thank God. All right, we will do... Everybody is in. Did I not replace? Yeah, he doesn't have a project. Artillery department or naval department? Let's do artillery. And then, is there stuff we can sell? We do have some civilian muskets, probably just because we had a considerable number of troops that were on the march. Haven't gotten more copper yet, so we haven't produced more stuff yet, just the one textile. We're going to sell 20 more horses. If I ever do need more horses, I'm never gonna have any availability, but I need to make sure that we've got sufficient cash to hopefully equip the troops that we need to equip. Raise the troops we need to raise. Okay. Could always carve some sticks. Yeah, we could have, what are they called? Quaker guns, except for muskets? That is a strategy, I suppose. Probably wouldn't work very well in battle, but hey, you know. There you go. All right, next day we were back in the red, but it looks like we were able to draw in more reinforcements. So we now have 4,900 men, and the enemy is at 2,400 men. All right. Market. I want to make sure I'm not like, we don't have soldiers on back pay. So we will sell 10 more construction materials. 1 wood. 5 saltpeter, which is important for production of ammunition and stuff. I got to imagine the next production cycle is going to hit soon and we'll get some more copper to sell too. But let's go ahead and do this thing. We've got pretty much, I think, all the recruits that we're realistically going to get in an advantageous rate. So the regulars will form a brigade. Then we'll have the largely intact militia. Oh, not who I want. Is there any way to like shift select? No. We gotta let the okay. So Peter's brigade's formed. Bush's brigade is formed. You can have up to 3 units in a brigade for what it's worth. I also don't like how the units don't stack on the campaign map. That's silly. Okay. Okay. So we've got an army of 4,800 troops. Oh, it says no artillery. We don't have any artillery units per se, but we've got artillery companies. And of course they'll not be consolidated, so we'll go ahead and order them to march. Hey, we got 6 rum. We intercepted rum from privateers. Nice. Hey, General. All right. Okay, so rather than make the mistake with which we did last time. What we did last time, our mistake was we waited till everybody was concentrated, and then we like started the strategic battle on top of the enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and engage the moment that we can. So you can see this is the situation. The enemy has 154 men coming out of Middleborough still. They have 4 regiments, just of 580, 660, 695, and 411. So they replaced most of the losses within the individual companies. They have 3 companies of artillery. The rest are of these little rifle icons or infantry companies. Meanwhile, we have 2 regiments of fusiliers, which are effectively regular troops, which are under strength for the most part. We have 3, 6, 9 brigades of militiamen, which are not anywhere close to being on par with the British in either firepower or training or meleeing, but what they lack in effectiveness, perhaps. Hopefully, the goal is to make sure that they make up for in numbers. Now, the enemy has about 2,500 soldiers all in here near Middleborough. You can see here they've got another 3,500 up at Boston. So the objective has to be to defeat these guys soundly and with our force in good enough shape that we can then make an assault on Boston later. But that's sort of the objective. We've got a lot of eggs in one basket. Let's go ahead and fight this tactical battle. Okay, so you can see we are not starting this battle like we did the previous battle, where we are quite as on top of the enemy. Looks like our forces are formed up in 3 lines. We've got a brigade here, and then another brigade up here. Probably about half of our force forward deployed, about half sort of on this angle. The enemy's stacked up sort of in a deep column along the roadway. There's these 3 little icons here which represent objectives. We do have a little bit more breathing room than the last time we fought, and we don't have any troops that are routing. What does this plus symbol mean? I don't know what that means, but some of the units have it. Is it an experience thing? It's a division? So maybe this is actually multiple companies linked up into one, because this is a larger group. So it's got to be multiple companies merged into one larger unit, which actually, frankly, I prefer. I don't like when you have understrength units. And it looks like they did that for the Fusiliers too. So I think that is a smart... I don't know if that's a new thing they released in the latest update or what, but... All right, the enemy's coming from this direction. So, how do we want to... There's not a lot of great terrain here to defend from. All right, I'm going to try and use this wood line here. Give us some extra cover. Then we'll put a second line of troops in behind as sort of a reserve. Where we can, we'll put them in the woods also. And then we've got this back line. Okay, so we got a brigade formed up here in the back. We're going to form them on the right. Hopefully what the enemy does is they advance straight out of this objective toward our line of troops here. And then we can bring this brigade onto their flank and hit them in the flank. That is the objective there. I don't really know. We'll see. Usually falling back is a good idea because it buys you time, but we are not quite on top of the enemy. Are these guys not in a brigade? We're going to order these troops, such as they are, in cover to hold their position, which will give them some additional cover. You get 15 extra cover if you hit the hold button. But you can see the enemy is deploying up on us. This flanking brigade is not going to have success with this enemy company moving this way, so they are going to pull up short and make sure the enemy at least doesn't go around this flank. That huge volley here, this unit of 260 men firing volleys into the enemy with disciplined fire, regular troops, that's a good thing to have. I don't know if the enemy unit's linked, you know, like ours did. But I'm hoping that the advantage of manpower tells in this fight. Meanwhile, you can see the enemy has a bunch of sort of independent companies engaging this one of ours. The other nice thing about doing it this way is that we can concentrate like 3 or 4 companies of infantry on one enemy target that is a third of their size. So you can more easily, hopefully, rout the enemy with fire, because you'll have a greater concentration of muskets hitting any one target. We're kind of already seeing that a little bit. Although now they're routing. Great. They didn't last long. Aren't those regulars too? They are. Okay, well, that didn't quite work as I had hoped. Fall back. I don't want you engaging the enemy like that. Let's melee this light infantry unit here. Buys time for these men who are retreating through our lines. These guys are not, these are militia, so they're not as valuable. Meanwhile, we've got, I don't know if we're getting friendly fire from our artillery firing through our lines or what. Fire into their flank there. Oh man, they're trying to break through my right. Okay, there's a lot going on. I could slow the battle down a little bit. It does look like we've got a pretty considerable advantage on the top here. Countercharge. Now, what I've learned since the last fight is that if they don't have a little white flag here, they're not retreating off the map. So these guys are routed and retreating off the map now. They've got a white flag there. But the other units, when they just sort of blinking white, means they're retreating, but it doesn't mean that they've been sort of routed from the map. Okay, they're driving back that division here. So they're definitely using some of their superior training. I'm attempting to use superior manpower here to even things up a bit. Although these guys are not retreating off the map yet, so I don't know, maybe they'll reform. Oh, they're going again. All right, our artillery on the left flank is in trouble. Let's send some new companies over there. These are light enemy troops, that's why they're in very scattered sort of formations. They're also doing a considerable amount of damage to our artillery. I would have rather you fire a volley rather than countercharge, but okay. Charge! Bayonets! Okay, let's drop a ton of men into that right flank here, hopefully to secure it. The enemy, again, they've broken several of our companies, and they've inflicted fairly heavy losses, but they are, you can see here that they're retreating. So now that they're retreating, let's charge after them. This is where having cavalry would be nice. It does look like we took a few prisoners. Can you cut their line of retreat off? So we've won. It's just a really kind of, at this point, it's a question of how decisive we've won. The enemy's retreating. It would be nice to take out their artillery too. It is not on Steam, Raven. I think it'll be early next year or middle of next year before it's available on Steam. All right, we probably are not going to catch them on foot. Maybe. I mean, you'd think they're more exhausted than we are, but... Fire a volley into their rear. And again, that was at extreme range. That wasn't going to do much. All right. By the looks of it, I don't... Oh, maybe we will catch some of these guys. At least the artillery, perhaps. So, again, this is where it's like, it would be nice if the game said, okay, now you're gonna capture these 4 guns because that's what's happening on the strategic map, but that's not really how the retreat mechanic works. How are my boys routing? These guys are supposed to be retreating. You outnumber them like 4-1 here. I know you're tired and all, but artillery fights way too effectively in melee, in my opinion. Do we finish off that other enemy battery of guns? We're still working on them. I have an idea. Fall back. Then, once you've disengaged, fire a volley. I don't know why their guns are not retreating, but their infantry are. But maybe that's a bug, I'm not sure, but I will take advantage of it. And I will try and, you know, destroy these guys as best as I can with gunfire. Although now they're shooting canister at me, so that's not great. So maybe don't let them do that. Fire your volley and then charge. There you go. These guys it was okay to do that on because they weren't actually manning their guns. But we won't destroy that artillery unit here. Just a lot of mopping up at this point. Come on. God, it's obnoxious how effective they are at. Okay. Do we... I guess we'll just accept the victory. All right. So 5,100 men deployed on our army. We lost a little less than a fifth of them. So 880 casualties on our end. Meanwhile, they lost 1,100 killed and wounded and 100 missing POW type deals. So they lost about 1,200 of their 2,400. So they lost about 50% of their force. Pretty effective victory, I think. There, not only did we outnumber them, but we also inflicted greater losses on them than they on us. So that should decide the fate of Middleborough, unless they bring tons of reinforcements down from Boston quickly, which is possible. But all right, so someone just surrendered here. They're evacuating Middleborough altogether. Now, the only problem with this is by them falling back into Boston, they will likely cause the... And then we're going to capture a bunch of dropped equipment, but it doesn't really tell me what I'm going to capture. But now the problem is when they retreat back to Boston, that will likely make an enemy... an attack on Boston more difficult because they'll pull reinforcements there, and... While they at least had one regiment surrender, it could result in Boston ending up with like 6,000 men. State militia detained smugglers who are illegally transporting barrels of rum. Loyalty in New York is too low, but I need the money. So I will confiscate it. Give me the $2,000. Maybe I can move north and engage these guys quickly too. I think they're trying to reinforce Middleborough, and I think these are the troops we already defeated. You guys, don't do that. You're entirely too spread out. No. I don't want to get drawn into a battle in Boston, but if I can inflict more losses on them before they get back to... I'm going to need more ammo, though. I've probably... Well, maybe not. That battle was relatively quick. Some of my regiments used up a big chunk of their ammo. But yeah, so now you can see Boston as well over 4,000 troops. So between the garrison that was there and then the reinforcements or troops retreating there, they now outnumber us there. Or if not outnumber, it's pretty darn close. Yeah, they outnumber us. All right, did we get back Ebenezer or whoever? Yeah, we rescued 72 guys and an officer. Nice. So we should have an officer. Middleborough was captured. You'd think that would give me some reputation for winning that battle. I could outnumber them if I bring troops from Leicester temporarily, or if I bring troops from Ticonderoga. But again, I don't have a good sense of what I actually captured on the battlefield here because we're back in the red for finances. The whole capturing stuff on the strategic map is very fuzzy. Looks like we got one 6-pound field gun. Again, we captured at least a whole battery of 4 guns. We also got those 6 rum, so we're going to sell that for a tidy profit. We could use it to raise morale of our troops, but sorry, guys. You know the drill. Okay. We've got a nice little surplus of civilian muskets that'll go in toward reinforcements. We also captured about 100 brown besses, which is nice because our Fusiliers need those. But I have the only way I know what we captured is because I know what was there, like what we had before. All right. Let's see. I think that battle was fought on the 11th of September, so let's see what the 12th brings. All right, we didn't get really reinforced at all. Our finances didn't get much better. Our reputation didn't get much better. How much better are the regular? I think our regulars are closer to comparable than theirs. The militia, theirs are like 5 or 6 times better than ours. So that's not great. Artillery department in 3 days. I need more money sooner than that. So where's Ebenezer? Here's the guy we just rescued. He's a pretty talented officer too, so it's nice to get him back. You can see his traits are better than a lot of everybody else who is currently in our service. We're going to need someone to run the artillery department in a moment. So let's see here. They're at 4,500. We're at 4,000. Somehow we're going to have to lure some of those troops into an independent battle from Boston, because I'm not going to be able to overwhelm them. I suppose I could raise more regiments or move units from Ticonderoga back east, but we certainly won't have a comfortable manpower advantage. We did get about 200 there. This is our priority, so we will pull resources from other locales. Okay. All right. We'll just let this sit for a couple of days and see how things shape out. We got about 200 more that day. They got like 70 or 80. Enraged vigilantes demand the arrest of a powerful loyalist in New York. Loyalty in New York's getting too low. It's under 60%. I need the money, but nope. British agents are working to sabotage our diplomatic efforts. I don't even know what those diplomatic efforts are. Selling those brown vessels would bring a hefty penny and would help our financial situation, but the regulars need them. I need more money so bad. We're actually producing like 90 civilian muskets a day. I don't think I have enough civilian muskets, or I think I'm producing more civilian muskets than I am getting new recruits. So that could be a little bit of a cash resource here before too long. Go to September 15th. I also don't know how many officers I'm consuming in these reinforcements. All right, the artillery department is now developed. Okay. We need to assign someone to be the the artillery chief. I don't have Henry Knox anywhere, so we'll go with Ebenezer Murray. Seems to be the only one qualified to do it. Research speed or something else. Raise funds for our commander-in-chief. And can why can't he raise? I don't know why he can't do anything. Because these other guys can do side objects. But in any event, I guess we'll do this because it's the only thing he can do. Ammunition a day. Settle training unit levels. Units located in settlements increase their daily levels. Is this just for artillery or everybody? Consumes quite a bit of artillery, but it does affect training levels, which is interesting. That could be tempting. Meanwhile, we're back in the red. We'll sell 143 civilian muskets for about 1,000. Did Darth Mod create this game, Mock? I know he created Ultimate General Gettysburg and Civil War, but I thought Darth Mod was the lead designer on Dreadnoughts at this point. And I thought the team that made Age of Sail, which was a different team than made Dreadnought, were the ones working on Revolution. That's my understanding. Darth doesn't do all of their games. I know that. All right. Refill iron. So we'll get copper in 1 day. Hopefully that helps with our income. Because we are not producing enough stuff to keep me on the mend. I guess we could sell our one field gun that we captured from them. Question is, what do I do now? I don't think an assault on Boston is prudent. Privateer vessels conduct raids along the British coastline, targeting coastal towns and villages. They capture supplies and weapons and valuable resources. What do we capture? 168 civilian muskets. I would have rather Brown Besses, but where are these guys going? Hey, they're marching some of their troops north. An opportunity presents itself, perhaps. I'm guessing they're going up and garrisoning either Portsmouth or Salem. Salem looks like it's unoccupied at the moment, but that might present an opportunity to attack with a manpower advantage. They do have some cavalry at Boston, which is concerning. It only says 50 though, so maybe it's just one company. Meanwhile, did we get that research done yet? We did. We got the copper. I'm going to assign refill iron to the chief engineer too. I know like going down the tech tree is probably smart, but right now our economy is too dicey to... It's a luxury, I guess I'd say. All right, so we got the 6 copper, which will sell for 1,100. So that'll fund me for a day or two. Yay. We have no other goods to sell really, just ammo, which we need badly. I guess we could sell 192 of the civilian muskets also, because we do have it seems like we've got a little bit of a surplus. So that gets to 2,500. Let's let these troops march away, possibly. See when they're out of there. We'll give it one more day. I'm assuming these men will... There's a fog of war thing going on right now, so... Now, if they're Salem, they're within an easy marching distance to support Boston. But if we can draw the British south to attack us, then it might be worthwhile. Meanwhile, we are reinforcing some of our troops here. Okay. Hey, look, I'm in the red, even though I thought I was clear a little bit. We had 2,500. But we'll sell the copper that we just got, get us back in the black, at least temporarily. $800 gold and all right, so I got 1,000 plus surplus again. Let's take a look at the OOB here. Not enough money, not enough money. So our Fusiliers are not, we don't have enough money for either of them to be fully equipped. They're in actually pretty rough shape. I didn't think they lost that many men, but holy God, they're, I don't know if this is attrition after the fact or whatever. Our militia are mostly fully re-equipped, but it's our... Also, do none of these guys ever gain enough experience to do anything? Like, we never get our upgrades for these guys. Are they taking too many casualties? Are their officers too trash? Anyway. Okay, so we've got about 1,000 manpower advantage. We could also bring the 450 men out of Leicester to give us a slightly bigger advantage. It might make sense to assault Boston now and see what we can do. All right, everybody, we're going to jump in here. This was taken from a live stream on my Twitch channel from last night. We're going to go ahead and jump in here and end this video because we're almost to an hour of this. We fought the battle for Middleborough. It went our way. I didn't get as much of the enemy destroyed as I would like, which means Boston is stronger than I would like. But it seems like possibly the British may divert some forces elsewhere. And I have some plans and ideas for how we might be able to weaken them enough for us to attack Boston. So we'll see that in the next video. But for this one, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this series of Ultimate General American Revolution, the newest game out by the folks at Game Labs. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.